Today we're hunting the big boys. This is pretty much where they stay. It's up on a ridge and it's really brushy. The wind is blowing a little bit today, so their greatest defense is their sense of smell. And they kind of lose that in the windy day. I'm zooming in on the brush just so you can actually see how brushy it is, how hard it is to see something. This is what's called a rub. The more rubs you find in an area, probably the more the deer use that area. And there could be more than one buck. So the more rubs you find, the better off you are in chances of getting one. This one here is pretty fresh. You can tell by the white color. It was made pretty recently. And if you look around, they're on the ground. You can find the fresh bark laying on top of the leaves, which means it was probably made in the last day. So they're actively using this area. So hopefully we'll run across him. Here's another rub. It's fairly fresh. It's turning a little yellow, so it means it's a little older than the one we just saw. But the more of these you can see in an area, the better off you are. The chances of seeing a buck is a lot better. Okay, we're going to continue walking. When you're hunting in an area, the more open the woods are, the farther you can see the deer, of course. And that makes it a little easier because your gun can reach out pretty good ways and take one down. But it's also very important to know what you're walking in. Here you can see an area that's pretty steep. And pan back. That area there is less likely to have a deer than say this over here, what we call a point. A point is an area that goes down the same hill, but it's a little higher and less steep. As you can see, it's a lot flatter. So as you walk down this point, you can also see on both sides of it. And you got a better view to see if there's any deer in the area. Here's an old rub, probably from last year. It's on that point that I just showed you. I'm walking down it, and right next to it is one that's super fresh. you look there on the ground, you'll see where he's actually just rubbed all the bark off of it, probably within the last 24 hours. The wind hasn't even had a chance to blow the bark away, still sitting at the bottom of the tree. So he might be waiting down at the bottom of this hill for me. If you watch in the leaves, sometimes you can see tracks. And the more tracks you see, the better chance you have of seeing a deer. So I look out for those all the time. It's hard to see, but there's one right there coming up to you. It's just a hole in the ground, and you can just follow him down the hill. There's another one there. Sometimes deer don't leave rubs. Sometimes you can just see their tracks in the leaves, but you know they're in the area then. And I'm walking down this hill and I had the wind in my face, because the deer's greatest sense is their sense of smell. So if you have the wind in your face, it's blowing your scent back behind you the way you came from, instead of out in front of you where they'll be hopefully standing around or laying around, and they can smell you before they ever see you. So anytime you're hunting, always have the wind in your face. I've made it down the bottom of the little hill, down in the old creek bottom. Found another rub. Good sign. The woods here are a little more open. This would be a good place for him to meet up with a doe. I've been walking down this old creek bottom a little ways. Came across a very good sign. This is what they call a scrape. The bucks use those to tell the does that they're in the area. They make a scrape and urinate in it, and then when the doe comes along, smells it, she goes ahead and urinates in it. And a lot of times they'll just go off a little ways and lay down. And the buck sometimes makes several of these in just different areas, and he checks them a couple of times a day, find out if there's any does in the area. As you can see, this one here doesn't have hardly any leaves inside it, so it's pretty fresh. A lot of times the doe will leave her hoof print. This one here doesn't have anything, so evidently there hasn't been a doe around it. But it definitely means that they're in this area. This may not show up very good, but I'd like to show you the difference between a scrape and turkey scratchings. A turkey will come along and scratch looking for food, and they just kind of scratch down in a whole area, and the leaves will be pulled back. Like I say, it's hard to see on this video, but they just keep going, usually in a straight line. They'll either go up the hill or maybe work along the side of a hill, but it looks like more or less that someone took a leaf rake and just raked the leaves down the hill. Whereas a scrape is just one area, and it's usually down to the ground. But that's one way to tell a scrape from turkey scratchings, is if there's a lot of them in the area, usually it's some turkeys just looking for food. Here's another rub. It's on a different kind of a tree. It's a hardwood tree. And right below, you can see where he kind of stomped around and ate a few acorns, and even dumped a load. It's kind of old, several days old. It's already got hard and drying up. Another good sign that they're using this area. Now here's another scrape here. It's a few days old. We had it rain a couple of days ago, and it looks like it's rained in it. But it does have a doe track in it.